let me just say this.
Yeah.
You fucking called it.
But sometimes you gotta believe in something, right? And this is fucking sick. If I'm in a long trade, you know, I'm drawing in the support lines that will support my long trade.
Let me just be for real. Okay. This actually is, I think, the coolest thing that's launched this week.
So yes, I think it was an interesting launch. Not too shitty.
Yeah, not too shitty is probably the best way to put it.
Yeah.
But your online persona and the business decisions you make are questionable. How good does it feel to close like a long that you've had open for months?
Yeah.
So is it better than sex?
No. Welcome to Soul Brothers, your finest podcast on Solana, together with my co-host Eno and myself, Simon. And we are throwing you into the Solana rabbit hole, and we show you around in our exciting ecosystem.
Our mission is to help you stay on top of the latest and greatest on Solana so that you never run out of fun things to talk about. Simon, this is a bit of a weird setup. We got the stream going on over here. Hi guys, what's up everybody on the stream? So the camera's over here. We also have another camera set up over, fuck it, we'll just show. And we got Skyrise in the house. What's up, bro?
Exactly.
Where are we, Simon?
We are right now at Startup Village, Toronto. Exactly, to be accurate, which is a Superteam Canada hosted event here in Toronto, in Canada. And I haven't been here for like seven years, I think, in this country. Mm-hmm. I've never been to Toronto before. And I'm pretty excited to be here, honestly.
Didn't you spend quite some time in Canada? I feel like, why were you here in Canada again?
Because I didn't know where else to go. Story of my life, bro. I always end up at places because I feel
Wait, you came to Canada because you didn't know where else to go?
Yeah.
And you came to Canada?
Yeah, I always had that picture of, like mountains and forests and trees and snow.
Just go back to Germany. Why would you?
I don't know, like these vast lands. I wanted to discover that. I came to Vancouver when I was like 18 or some shit.
Oh, damn. Okay, so you're kind of finding yourself. Kid. Were you this beefy when you were 18?
I stuck out. Yeah, I stuck out.
Okay.
But I wasn't, probably not that beefy. If that word probably wasn't the most accurate word back then.
Sure.
But I looked fit, yeah.
Okay.
So cool. I actually competed in Vancouver in bodybuilding.
Oh, okay.
In Canadian bodybuilding competitions. Yeah.
I see. Okay. All right.
Yep. But now we're here 7 years later, and I am, running this beautiful podcast with you.
Right.
And we are obviously right now live streaming as always, but also welcome to our audience on Spotify or podcast or YouTube. If you are listening to Soul Brothers somewhere else than YouTube, then make sure to also check out the YouTube channel of Soul Brothers Pod. And subscribe to our YouTube channel because we are focusing more and more on the long form format, and I think YouTube is the best source to watch that. But today we do have a fucking packed agenda again.
Yeah,
packed agenda, and I don't even know where to start. I think
we start with the coziest part of the podcast, and the coziest part of the podcast is price action. And I'm actually really excited to get your analysis this week because it's been a pretty prices have been holding, right? And actually. Well, first of all, okay, let me just say this.
Yeah.
You fucking called it.
Kinda.
You literally called. No, what do you mean kinda? We did the TA last week, right? And then you're like, I expect a bullet. I mean, if your TA was correct, you conditioned it, prefaced it that way.
Yeah.
But you're saying if the TA was correct, we should see a bullish movement towards the upside on the fifth wave, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. And since then, it's held. So, but before I spoil it,
bro, you can take over the analysis of these.
I know how to do. I'm just mimicking you. I don't know what any of these words mean.
Right.
Just string them together like a stochastic parrot.
You got it. Let's take a look at the chart, guys. I'm gonna pull up the chart for everyone who's looking on the screen right now on YouTube or on the live stream as well. You can see the screen. Maybe you can click the button for the stream setup. I think it's the wrong. Is it the right? Yeah.
Cool.
And what are we looking at? We're looking at the Solana chart right now. I'm zooming out into the daily chart just to see where we're hovering around. I'm going to delete all this nonsense. Okay. So right now we're looking at the price and we're seeing, we did this painful kind of way to the downside from the top of $300 all the way down to $95. Okay. That's actually, welcome to crypto, right? Like these drawdowns that happened within 3 months of time, we went 70% down. That is crazy. If you think about it, like it is, and Solana is not a small asset anymore.
Yeah, not for the weak-hearted.
It's not for the weak-hearted. It happens, guys. It happens sometimes, and and it hurts because your portfolio literally gets
nuked,
split by half, and then another half. and
well, I mean, if you're trading perps, then your portfolio is blowing the hell up. So
probably losing some money, right? And we've been there, guys. It happens to the best of us. So trade carefully, navigate these waters carefully. But what we've seen since the low on the 7th of April, which basically was the start of the tariff news, when Trump went really out there and said, like, okay, I'm going to fucking tax all of you guys, ridiculous amounts of tariffs if you want to sell products to American citizen. And the world was like, yeah, I don't know if that's good. So we saw a big decline on the 7th of April. But since then, we are trying to find our way to new highs. And when the prices are low, it's very easy to get bearish and to be like, was that it? Are we, we all been there. Mm-hmm. We all had this moment in the past couple of weeks where the prices were dropping and then another low, and we're like, okay, is this it? Are we, is the bull market done? And then a couple of weeks later now, we're fucking pumping, and everyone is like, oh, one more high, we're back, we're so back. Like, it is so emotionally driven.
Yeah.
But what you said actually, I think is quite important, because we're trying here at Soul Brothers to kind of make sense of the noise a little bit. Look at the charts in a more rational way, and and see what we can predict based on the chances we get, right? Because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to predict future prices based on current information we have, and it will never be guaranteed. But what we did track is this 5-wave move to the upside. And we matched a lot of these target areas that I was looking for all the time, right? So from the low that we saw the first impulse wave to the upside, the third wave, and we topped at $155. And then usually what happens around 150, or what happens in the top of a third wave after an impulse to the upside, traders get a bit unsure and uncertain again.
Yeah.
Because now prices went up for 20-30%.
Yeah.
In a couple of days.
Yeah.
That is usually a third wave, very impulsive move.
Mm-hmm.
And then the question is, how long can this extend?
Mm-hmm.
Right? It can't extend forever. Mm-hmm. Every wave that goes up comes down in a corrective move, right?
Yeah.
So after this impulse to the upside, people are waiting for this for a correction.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fourth wave is usually this kind of area of uncertainty for traders, where they don't know, are we going higher in the third wave? Are we going lower? Are we going breaking the support? Like, there's a lot of uncertainty in these fourth wave structures. And this is, if you look at the chart, where the fourth wave here was also very choppy to the side, very big volatile moves in there. That's exactly what we usually see. That's a normal structure for a fourth wave. Usually they play out in some triangle formations, or in this path. Actually, what we see, what was just a flat correction, sideways movement, right? Yeah. And it took from the 25th of April until the 8th of May. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it took, more than a week, probably 2 weeks, for prices to do something and to break out of this sideways move.
Yeah.
But since it was a fourth wave, I was waiting for an upside reversal, for one more high, basically the fifth wave. And that's where we are right now. That's exactly what we've seen.
Woo!
And now I think we're topping out right now as we speak.
Are we so back?
We are so back, but be prepared for a small correction. What goes up comes down.
Yeah.
So right now, because we've seen the push and we met my target areas, I think the prices could technically go up to 191 based on some technical markers.
Sure.
So we could see another push to the upside right now, but especially in the past 2 hours, we saw the price being rejected once more from the 180 level for a second time right now.
Yeah.
Which was the first kind of level that I was watching for, $180, $181.
Yeah.
And we saw 2 rejections there. Can the price come back for one more push? Sure, it could. It would not be a typical move in the fifth wave though. So I think, right now we're in this kind of, triangle formation here. And we broke through it a little bit already. So there's weakness in the chart right now.
Sure. Okay.
In the short term.
Right.
So next steps for everyone that is wondering themselves, okay, what's happening now to Solana? Maybe you're watching to the podcast episode a few days ahead already. What we might see playing out right now is this 3-wave move to the downside. So basically, we're here up here right now in the 5th wave. We topped out. And now before we can see further upside correction, what I'm looking for is a 1, 2, 3. Okay, so a wave to the downside, a correction up, and then a lower low one more time into my target range of $140-ish, right? If we touch the 140, all good. If we go as low as $120, still all good.
Yeah.
That would be a healthy correction for this whole leg up from $95 to $180. We need to correct this whole leg, 95 to 180.
Yeah.
The correction right now is in this target range here, 140 to 120. And then once we're there, I think we can see another rocket.
Okay.
Another rocket ship.
So, I mean, if not financial advice, but like there's weakness in the chart, and there seems to be some level of likelihood that we'll see a little bit of a movement towards the downside before we can really evaluate where we're going. So, like that is that kind of where you would place your bets personally?
100%. Like right now, I think personally, I did, open a small short yesterday. Because I saw, and I rarely do that.
It's because of people like this guy, we're getting rejected over at 180 things.
but that's what happens, right? If you're trading, I also had a long open for like fucking 2 months, and I was finally able to close it down.
Oh, okay.
So, and now when we reach the $180,
how good does it feel to close like a long that you've had open for months?
Yeah.
So is it better than sex?
No. That's a mean question, but it felt damn good. It's right above.
But it feels good though, right? It feels good to to finally close out
bro, I thought 3 times I'm done.
Oh,
not with my life, but with that position.
You wrote it off in your head. You're like, okay, that's
exactly. But it was not a nice write-off.
Yeah.
And when the price went to $95, I was
right,
because I didn't expect that far of a pullback.
Right.
I was aiming for like $109 in my head. That's where my liquidation levels were initially at.
Yeah.
So when we went to 95, I was like already, okay, that's a stretch. But sometimes you got to believe in something, right? and at that moment, I was like, okay, Solana we're coming back. I don't think that's the bull market yet. That was my conviction until the very last minute. So that's why I kept the position open.
Okay, so this was a big win for you then. This felt very nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
I was, down bad, and now I closed in a couple $100 profit, and I was like, fuck yeah. So, sometimes life's like this, sometimes life,
Well, can we get a round of applause for Simon's long?
Thank you. Yeah.
The first topic that we're going to cover for today, just general kind of comings and goings on Solana. This is a big one. We've reached all-time highs for stablecoin issuance on Solana. Stablecoins have reached $13 billion in TVL. At certain points in my Solana journey, I think that the TVL for stablecoins was like somewhere around the range of like 2 or 3 billion. It was quite low.
Wow.
Yeah.
13. So 13 must feel good. Like if you're in that market.
It's really been an explosion. I know that dBridge loves to. dBridge is obviously a bridging solution native to Solana, and they love to talk about all the inflows of stable coins coming from mostly Ethereum actually into Solana. There's a lot of folks who have seen the light and are now bringing their capital here. But yeah, $13 billion in stablecoin issuance on Solana. That's absolutely phenomenal. What you can see in this video is the president of Solana Foundation, Lily Liu, and obviously giving an interview in preparation for Accelerate. Are you excited for Accelerate, Simon?
I am excited for Accelerate. Are you excited for Accelerate, Eno?
Yeah, no, New York is one of my favorite cities in the world.
I have not been there.
I don't understand your life. You're like, it's first time in Toronto, never been in New York, literally been everywhere else in the world. I've met you in no less than 10 countries, minimum. Probably. And then you're like, but never been to New York. It's like
there was just nothing there in the past couple of, since I'm traveling so much. Like there was nothing there for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you're trying to go to NFT New York, even though you are a Drake. But and shout out to the Drakes. I hear the den is a very lovely, lively. Can you confirm that the den? I mean, you can't talk about what goes on in the den.
I can to an extent.
Oh, to an extent, okay.
Yeah. So Lucid Drakes is one of the emerging, I would say, NFT communities on Solana right now that are actually thriving, which is rare.
Very rare.
Might be the only one.
No. It's Monkey DAO, Boogles.
But they've been around.
Yeah.
They're
sure.
OGs.
Oh yeah, okay. You're talking about like of the newer one of ones.
Yeah, it kind of came. They really have this kind of growth.
Yeah.
Right. So there's 69 Lucid Drakes in the collection maximum. funny, I know.
Yeah. Thanks, Meta. We appreciate that.
Yeah. And I don't know if it was your decision or just the designer. I don't know. But the story is 69 Lucid Drakes, once minted or once sold to someone.
Yeah.
That's the total supply. There won't be anything else. And there's no Lucid Drake on the secondary market still until today.
Yeah.
The last auction that was finalized this very week, actually, went over the counter for...
wasn't it like 130? No, it was more than that. How much was it?
Peasant.
What
do you mean 130?
I don't know how much was it.
330.
330? Jesus, fuck, really?
$50K.
Wow.
Yeah. So Lucid Drakes...
Sorry, I take that back. I apologize.
Lucid Drakes are being sold for money.
Okay.
People want in. And some people don't understand. And I understand that you don't understand. Because you're like, why would someone pay, the price of a small apartment for a picture in the internet? But
it's the access.
And it's the access. And it's also, we've seen this story play out before with Doodles and with some of these OG collections that are very exclusive, small, very small supply.
Yeah.
And the quality of people that are in there is forging this cabal environment.
Yeah, sure.
Where you feel like, okay, if I'm in there, something good must happen to
me. But a cabal for good,
Exactly.
Yeah.
In a positive way, right? Because it's like great founders.
Drake's on top.
Thanks, sir. Thanks, sir. We need to get this guy into the den.
Drake's on top. Actually, so I'm a little mad at myself because in Dubai, I know we are so fucking off topic, but I don't care. I'm just in one of those moods today. I landed in Toronto like 18 hours ago or so, and I'm just very, very tired. So yeah, we're just vibing. I mean, we will talk about stablecoins at all-time highs, 13 billion. That's great. Accelerate is coming up. And for whatever reason, that's the first time that Simon has ever been in New York. I cannot wait to show you around the fine city of New York. It's going to be a lot of fun. Don't take the subway. I mean, you're going to have to at some point, but smells like piss.
I'm staying in New Jersey because everything
Stay in Jersey, yeah.
So
Are we Ridgefield Park or whereabouts? Jersey City?
Ask my PA/girlfriend. I have no idea where I'm staying. So, but we have an apartment.
No, I got you. So. I got you. I mean, it's much more spacey. Otherwise, you're going to have to stay at like the Yotel.
Well,
like in Times Square. But it's one of those newfangled. It's like a single bed.
All right, like a capsule kind of thing.
It's like a capsule, yeah. Which I mean, you can do is just
Not me right now.
Yeah,
fuck it.
I don't think you'd fit through the door.
Yeah. Anyway, you were saying something else. Did you want to add on the whole Lucid Drake topic something and the fact that you don't have one yet and you missed out on something? I think.
In Dubai, Meta said you should totally get one. I looked at the price and I'm like $8,000. It's like I don't have which is true. I didn't have $8,000. I'm much poorer than people realize. So like I was like I don't have $8,000, but I should have taken out a loan or something because they're. I mean,
later you always know better afterwards.
I know. Well, I mean, it's gonna happen again, right? Right now, I'm all like $50,000. I don't got that. Later, it's gonna be a Boogle type of situation. They're selling for like 1,000 SOL. I'm like, guys, would you relax?
Where's the fucking where's the sky's the limit? I guess. But back to stablecoins. Just to wrap that topic up, 156% year-to-date growth of stablecoin issuance. I'm reading this from a Binance article. Solana news, Solana bull flag, and stablecoin surge hint at $200 Sol price target. Best tagline ever. If something hints at a price target, sure, whatever. No financial advice, guys.
Thanks, Binance.
Binance does not know where Solana's going, and we don't know where Solana's going.
Yeah.
But it's true though that it is good that we have so much stablecoins on Solana because more stablecoins are the backbone for DeFi activity.
Yeah.
And DeFi activity on Solana is also fueling a lot of the on-chain transactions and transaction fees and things that make Solana worth money.
Yeah.
Solana, the asset. So, I guess that's bullish.
Yeah, I honestly really excited for all the stablecoin growth. I know that stablecoins, by their very nature, are non-volatile and therefore not very interesting to folks. But a lot of stuff that happens in DeFi as well as your trading. I mean, you need the stablecoins at least as a trading pair, and certainly as a good store of value. So, congratulations, Solana. You can kind of think of stablecoins as like a canary in a coal mine, right? To see how the health of a chain currently is. And like if you're seeing more net inflows of stablecoins, that's just generally a very good thing.
It is, yeah. And we could probably have a full EP on why and on digging deeper into stables. But I think, this news is enough for now to give people some hopium for the future of Solana right now, the near future. Yeah.
So this next topic is a little heady. I didn't have, quite the time to read through all of it, but there was a blog post that was co-authored by Max Resnick over at Anza and Toly, Solana Labs. But that's a little... this is always so funny to me because Anza is Solana Labs. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's just, but they're, legally for reasons, right? They're separate, but same, but different. It's very much the same organization. And you're aware of the joke that Toly never writes. He writes obviously, but he never writes blog posts and very much as promised to in the past. And so, but apparently, ostensibly, is a co-author to The Path to Decentralized NASDAQ. How many words, what do you think? No, what's the over-under? How much did Toly really?
I don't know, man. I don't know him personally, so I have no idea how much he's actually... I can imagine that he put some blood and sweat and things like this as well.
Sure.
I could.
Sure.
But I do not know.
Do not know.
But yeah, what happens? The Path to Decentralized NASDAQ, Max and Anatoly both co-authored that paper, and you can check that one out as well for yourself at anza.xyz. They have a blog over there where you can dive a little bit deeper. But yeah, the whole chain started with the idea of becoming the NASDAQ, right? The decentralized NASDAQ. And Toly has been saying this since a while. There have been some opinions from people some people from Multicoin, I think even Akshay, that are sometimes pushing back this narrative a little bit and say, hey, we're more than that. We're not just the NASDAQ for the decentralized NASDAQ. But I think what comes with it, there's something that we can extract from the fact that this is the North Star, that it's used to be the North Star. And this is that we need to build a decentralized ledger, an ecosystem that is decentralized as much as possible and yet able to transact at light speed and do ultra fast transactions with low latency and with cheap transaction costs as well, because that's what you need to get a NASDAQ.
Yeah, if I'm understanding, I just perused this blog post very quickly, but from what I can understand, if you look at the current, they're proposing a change to the underlying Solana architecture, right? And kind of how it currently works, and you would know this because you run your own validator, is the more stake that you attract, the higher the likelihood that you become the leader. It changes constantly, right? But within a given epoch, the more stake you have, the more chances you have being a leader, which means that you can, extract more money from, but not extract in a negative way, but get the most out of the transactions that are being performed on the network. And so obviously being a leader is very attractive because you make more money. And that's just, it's not like if you have, let's say 40% of the stake that you're guaranteed 40% of, being the leader. But at the same time, it on balance over time, you become the leader 40-ish% of the time. Right. And what it seems like is that they are suggesting that we redo or upgrade, let's use a positive word, upgrade Solana's architecture so that there are many leaders, right? Within a given, this is very interesting. So, I would like to learn more about the technical bits about how this actually works, but from what I can tell, it is a multi-leader structure. So
for this to do deep dives on these topics, the Sol Brothers weekly updates are not the right format for this, but we might invite guests once in a while to dive deeper into things like this. And maybe we'll do that at some point, because understanding Solana from a fundamental point of view is tough. I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
You really to really understand the Solana infrastructure bottom up,
Yeah.
That takes quite a learning curve.
But it's important though that we try to educate ourselves in public. Even I feel like a lot of folks get really scared to share their learning journey because they don't want to look stupid in public. But I'm kind of all for being stupid in public and having people yell at me. Well, because usually the thing that they're yelling me about is exactly the thing that I'm ignorant of. And so therefore, I do appreciate the targeted feedback, criticism. So if there's anybody who wants to hop on the pod and get into Max Resnick's and Toly's essay about how to upgrade the Solana network to run a multi-liter turbine, please, it's probably Dean. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think he would be a good fit.
Yeah, it would probably be Dean.
Yeah. I guess so.
Yes.
But we got more announcements. We got more launches on Solana dropping in this week.
Yeah.
And there's quite a bunch of them, So where do we even begin here?
We are starting with Volmex.
Volmex.
So that sounds a little German, don't it?
Volmex.
Volmex
could be a German consumer product.
Yeah.
Volmex.
Could
be something that you, like a tape or some shit.
Like a tape?
Yeah, like something that I find in a builder store.
Like a hardware store.
Yeah.
Okay, it has.
Yeah, I see that. But anyway, maybe we shouldn't do that because Volmex Finance is actually something we should take serious because they did have an interesting launch this week. They went live with the Solana Volmex Prime Rate Index, and they claim this is the definitive benchmark for cost of capital in the Solana ecosystem.
Right. And what exactly is this data, right? It seems to be USD stablecoin borrowing, lending, as well as perps, So it sounds like, I'm going to say, God, this, like, I literally just said it's okay to be stupid in public, but I'm like afraid to say the next few words. But it really feels like borrow rates, right? Here's a nifty little graph they have, the Volmex Prime Rate Index. Over here, there are numbers that are, these are percentages, right? This is essentially the borrow rate percentage for, in this case, Sol. So today's range is, it's jumped quite a bit, but today's range is anywhere from 2.5 to 8.2%. And what is the Solana Volmex Prime Rate Index, Simon? It is the index focuses on Solana, one of the largest and most popular currencies. Look, I'm gonna get a little nitpicky over here, and by the way, I am very interested in Volmex. I'm not like, it's cool, it's fine, guys, but like, I do, like, it's not a pet peeve, but I just want to be really clear. Like, there's Solana, the blockchain, and then there's Sol, the token, and I don't like it when people use it interchangeably.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah, right. So like this index, it focuses on Solana. It's like, no, this index focuses on Sol.
It does.
Yeah. One of the, yep. And it is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it's Sol, to be very clear. So yeah, just a little, being persnickety and annoying today. But yeah, this index focuses on Sol. And Volmex Labs is a platform that develops and maintains this index. It leverages data from options markets to calculate indices and provide transparent real-time updates. I always wonder with data companies like this, like where they make their money. Like obviously with data, there's a bunch of buyers, right? But like as someone who's very much outside of the data world, it just kind of fascinates me. It's like, what do you do? It's all like, yeah, I calculate a proprietary aggregation of the borrow rates on Solana.
But you can plug that into a lot of systems.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure you can. I'm just saying that I'm so divorced from that market.
Yeah,
it's like I don't even like. What do I do with the
access to data? That's what people pay for.
Sure. Yeah, and a benchmark for the VPR, the Volmex Prime Rate indices are the benchmark standard for crypto interest rates, right? So that's exactly what we thought it was.
Yeah.
And yeah, they do it for several markets. They do it for Bitcoin. They do it for Ethereum. They do it for Solana. So yeah, I just did it again. I used it interchangeably. Shame on me. But yeah, this is a very cool product. I think that's interesting. I always love to see newer data providers creating like new data primitives that can be used and plugged and played, and hopefully providing utility to the space. So welcome. Never heard of y'all guys, but actually seems pretty cool.
Interesting. Yeah, I think you can actually build interesting products on top of things like this. That's what I want to see, because right now, looking at the chart and checking out the data, cool. Like I like charts. I like to see the kind of, it's like the heartbeat of the ecosystem sometimes.
Do you like save your observations about charts anywhere? Like, do you write them down or like take screenshots and like, I don't know, stuff that you remember from that time? I'm just curious, like what you typically like to do with a chart. Do you just like,
if you like price charts or
yeah.
I mean, I use the price chart itself as a living document, right?
I see.
That's where I see all my markers in there.
I see.
in my indicator, so I write on the price chart.
Does it feel like meditation to you a little bit, like looking at a price chart, like in a sense? No, but not like meditation in the sense like what is meditation? Like meditation isn't closing your eyes and breathing. Like meditation is like focusing on a very particular thing.
Yeah.
Like and being in that state of flow almost, right? So
flow,
is that for what looking at price charts are for you?
I think to an extent, right? I'm not too deep in that topic. I'm not too crazy about it. So I won't be stuck on a chart for 2 hours and be like, oh wow, like you know what I mean? It's I'm not that crazy. Yeah. But there's people that probably are much better than myself at making sense of charts, right? I'm just a guy. But I think I get where you come from, and to an extent, it's true. Like it is a nice.
It's calming.
It's a nice calming form of distracting yourself from whatever else is happening around the world. By just checking at the chart and, like even especially if you have a trade open right now and you give a shit about the price actually because the trade is open and you're just watching the fucking trade. Like you're just live watching the price and that's all you do.
Are you one of those people that feels like you can understand the market better if you just look at an order book? I feel that way sometimes. Like I'll just look at an order book, especially during the bull market, because like that's when you would look at it. You never look at an order book in the bear market, but like
true.
But because
I have something similar, which is basically constructing the chart in a way that it matches my directional expectation. So if I'm in a long trade, I'm drawing in the support lines that will support my long trade as if I could build support lines. Sure. I'm just finding them magically somewhere. I draw the Fibonacci and I think this is perfect. Like this is gonna play out. This is so biased.
Sure.
Sometimes that happens. Yeah, it makes no sense. Anyway,
okay.
What else?
This next announcement and or project, I am like, this is fucking sick. It's called Superstate. And Superstate's mission is to bring stocks on chain. Like that is the gold standard. Like that's what we've been waiting for this entire time. I have so many questions, but I mean, just to, give you like a broad overview, they're releasing a product called Opening Bell. And it's a platform for companies to issue SEC registered shares directly on chain. And the first issuer is going to be Sol Strategies, the Solana investment and ecosystem infrastructure firm. And Opening Bell is built on the same high performance infrastructure that powers our tokenized funds, USTB and USCC. It's that's kind of crazy that first announced issuer, HODL, as a Canadian public company, shout out to Superteam Canada, that has begun the process of listing on NASDAQ and is now exploring the opportunity to bring the shares on-chain via Opening Bell. Cool. So Meow has talked about this a bunch of times, right? GUM, the Grand Unified Market, where any asset could be exchanged for any other asset, all on-chain. So like just some weird examples, but with a click of a button, trading like shares in a timeshare or a deed to a car for a house for USDC or a bank. It's like all of these things could be theoretically interchangeable on chain if you just tokenize it. And stocks as well. Why the hell not? And my biggest question is like, obviously this has to be a 24. I never really understood 24-hour markets for stocks. I get it in the context of a token, but it's like if you have a publicly traded and regulated and issued stock, right, like on the New York Stock Exchange, and then trading stops at, 5? And it doesn't open until the next day. It's kind of like, where is the price being? I know the market is deriving the price, but then what happened? Like,
I mean, the assets keep trading, just on different markets.
Sure.
All over the world, because you have Asia is going to open at some point. London is opening at some point. So there's always some outlet, some venue, some exchange trading there. But it usually has an impact. Like once you see, like traders, especially in traditional assets, if you trade gold, if you trade forex, you like there's a lot of traders that actually focus only on markets opening and closing, because usually you wait for US open, right? And this will create some sort of volatility in the price.
I see.
Right? Because traders come in, the opening bell and,
there are some people trying to arbitrage, I'm sure. And then there are other people who are taking opinionated risk.
Yeah. And then you have, that's TradFi, right? You have pre-markets that already start trading before, it starts on the regular market.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, in crypto, everything should be much easier if it's on crypto rails.
Yes. Okay, this next announcement is more for the culture, but dudes, from Doodles, yet another example of Ethereum.
We've seen it.
An Ethereum aligned project launching their token on Solana. Like we were seeing this a lot during the mini bull season that we had, where Ethereum projects that Pudgy, I think, is a great example of this. They did Pengu on Solana. That's probably the biggest version of this. But they're not the only project, though, right, Simon? And there are plenty of projects, Ethereum projects, that have launched their token on Solana. More liquidity, more traders, more interest. And so Doodles has joined the squad.
Exactly. I mean, they just do the same playbook, basically the Pengu playbook, in my opinion. What do you think about the fact that some of these coins are just not Solana native? And how do you think that reflects in their launches?
So the thing about community coins like Bonk that I really enjoy is that they feel so Solana aligned that there's plenty of retail and/or whales who are willing to scoop it up when the price kind of dips below a certain level. And of course, the support level is always different. Yeah. But like, it's very clear that Bonk has very strong support levels, maybe lower than we would like, but it's not sending straight to zero. Yeah. Right. Yeah. In the case of Doodles, however, right, because they do not have that native Solana love, what it often feels like is if the price dips, then that's kind of it for the token. And that seems to be what happened here, right? Will Crypto writes, took 58 minutes to send it to zero, right? And let's look at the price chart over here. Zoom out a bit.
I mean, just for me, to be frank, I think it just like the launch is always very volatile, right? So obviously, at the beginning you have a lot of people, especially if you do an airdrop campaign, you have a lot of people that just sell. So I think you need to disregard the first 90 minutes of trading.
Okay.
And then after this, the price discovery starts, right?
Yeah.
And that's what's happening right now, and it's looking okay. It could be much better in the current market. Yeah. So I think they didn't get the attention that they would like to have gotten.
What do you think about their choice to launch in this market?
I mean, the timing seemed to be calculated. Mm-hmm. They seemed to be ready.
Oh yeah, they were very particular about it. Do you think their bet was correct?
Yeah, I wouldn't have gambled for a further delay, and so yes, I think it was good.
Okay, you think out of all the options that they had, this was probably like a very wise decision on there. I mean, I don't know about but exactly with the information that you have, you can you just make decisions that you can.
I guess so. Like if they don't have any other reasons to time the launch, like some collaboration they might wait for something. Then I think the timing was right now pretty good because we did see a surge in prices and liquidity in the past couple of days, and they launched right into that. Right? Yeah. And they right now still have like a okay volume, like 5 mil trading volume in 24 hours, which is pretty good right now. Yeah. So yes, I think it was an interesting launch, not too shitty.
Not too shitty is probably the best way to put it. Yeah. Let me just be for real. Okay. This actually is, I think, the coolest thing that's launched this week. It's a feature called Universal Send from our very good friends and sponsors, Jupiter. And Universal Send is a feature for Jupiter Mobile. And what makes Universal Send so sick is that your recipient does not need Jupiter Mobile yet to start. It just sends them a link that they can use to claim the crypto that you send them later. And you can send them anything. You can send them tokenized gold, tokenized uranium, your favorite, meme coin or new token launch from Bonkfun. It doesn't matter. It's claimable via a link. And if they try to claim from the link, they'll have to download Jupiter Mobile, but it's all gasless. That's like another thing that's pretty insane to me is that that's the biggest pain point when you're onboarding someone, right? Is that they need the soul to start.
Exactly. So. They need the soul to start. They need to know where to start. Here, they don't need to know where to start. They just scan the QR code. Yeah. And they will be guided, through the proper channels. Mm-hmm. So Universal Send is another sign for me, a symbol of Jupiter's awareness of the fact that we need to make it easy for new entrants. Yeah. and they do a lot in that regard.
Yeah.
Right? You can really see that this is one of their pillars, right, of the company strategy is reduce friction onboard users.
Yeah. I mean, this feature almost feels very Web 2 to me because there are banks that do this already. This is not really that unique of a feature.
Yeah.
There are plenty of payment apps where you don't send the money, you send a claim link. But no one's really done that for crypto yet. And the biggest hang up for that has been the gas. Like how do you deal with that component? But it seems like they fixed it. So that's really fucking sick. You can use Universal Send to transfer tokens to any other Solana wallet, send gifts via a link, or generate a QR code with money inside of it. So yeah, I want to onboard people using Jupiter Send, Universal Send. This is fucking sick.
Yep. Agree. Agree. Do we have other launches on Solana that we want to highlight?
No, I think I'm kind of done talking about Pumpdotfun. Do you want to talk about Pumpdotfun? We can.
I mean, just so people are aware of it, Pumpdotfun is doing creator revenue sharing. So yeah, it's a little bit late, but better late than never.
But a lot of people are claiming that this is not real like revenue sharing, right? Because what they've really done is increase the fees, right? Whereas like Pumpdotfun, you know, they'll give away 100K in rewards and then use that to buy back Bonk and Ray and also Bonk Soul. So like it's a little different. They just increased the fees and then in the name of creator sharing. So yeah, I guess the take or the sentiment towards this feature has not been overwhelmingly positive. Let's put it that way.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Scooter says. So one influencer on the timeline says almost every popular coin from Pumpdotfun is a CTO, so a community takeover. Devs are almost always out by the time a token bonds. So, you know, yeah, they're kind of gone. I don't see the benefit for revenue sharing on meme tokens. So a lot of people say that it's kind of a systematically not even relevant for the way that tokens launch on Pumpdotfun.
Yeah.
That this feature doesn't really make sense.
Right.
I guess it's more like an approach from them, an attempt, you know, to ship something bullish. But right now, everything just seems to be attempts.
Yeah.
When it comes to Pumpdotfun. So let's see if they have a hitter at some point soon or not.
Oh, this one's kind of a little funny. So my least favorite influencer in the space, Frank. Frank just bothers me on so many fucking levels, and I don't want to get into that just because I don't actually know him as a human being. And like, because there's the online personality, and then there's the person behind the online personality. So let me just put it this way, Frank, I don't know you. Whether or not you're a good person or not is like I have literally no idea. But your online persona and the business decisions you make are questionable. For example, the reason why his account went dark in February is because of after Libra, there was a lot of fallout and discussion about like, okay, which of these KOLs actually knew, who made money off of it, like who was rugging normal people. And in that context, he claims he made a joke, and that joke was like, yeah, there are insiders and I am one of them, right? And that joke was very, very polarizing because people took him very seriously and almost felt like he was rubbing it in their faces that he had just rugged them. Yeah. So he's been dark after that, his account. And he's back after 3 months. And well, today is my last day as CEO of DGods. Right. My chapter is closing, but the story isn't over. I mean, he's a beautiful writer. I'll give you that. I do think he's very, very good at creating narrative. I just think that the narrative that he creates is, for lack of a better word, caca. This just looks like a guy who cashed out, and is leaving like the space
a little bit as well.
Is he
just trolling the ecosystem to an extent?
Maybe.
Could be. I don't know. With some of, I mean, especially in the past. I don't know about this one right now.
Yeah. I just don't know. I mean, it's a very poetic post. Like, it's been fun, timely fun to hit the gym. Thanks for everything. Keep trying shit. Which, like, on its face sounds very, very romantic until you remember, like, this guy like created an NFT collection that was very experimental in some ways, but really shitty in the follow through, and then went back and forth between several chains and a comeback onto Solana, and then burned the NFT for DOOD tokens, and then just completely abandoned his own token and started meme coin trading.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's really hard for me to take his romantic sentiment seriously, given that context. It's all like, who cares?
I agree with you on that one. He's definitely, he feels a bit extractive and net negative for the ecosystem. And now, now even if you have like this kind of moment of, oh shit, maybe I should have been a better person. Like maybe, but I think he did too many.
It's been such a journey. It's all like, I mean, maybe for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. All right. Well, adios, Frank.
Yeah.
It was nice knowing you, and I don't think we'll ever see you again, and I'm okay with that. So adios. Bye. Bye, Felicia. Okay.
Very, very, very good take.
Yes.
Before we close it off today, I definitely want to cover one upcoming event as well.
Sure.
So there would be something that I definitely want to share right here, which is the Builders Mansion coming up.
Ooh.
The Solana Builders Mansion, yes.
Woo.
So as some of the listeners know, Eno and myself, we are usually trying to be out and about and to go from Solana event to Solana event to meet all the builders, talk to all the people, and be connected with all these amazing Solana folks out there.
Yeah, yeah.
And Superteam France is organizing the first ever European Founders Villa.
Yeah.
Let's say, right?
Yeah.
Because we used to have the Founders Villa in Dubai, and now we have Builders Mansion. And I'm looking at the picture of this beautiful castle almost, which looks very romantic.
Yes.
And it comes with a spa, it comes with a pool, it comes with whatever, but it especially comes with Solana builders.
Yeah.
Because in June, there will be 3 cohorts from the 7th to the 28th of June, where Solana-focused builders can get together and co-work together, exchange ideas, get inspired by each other, and obviously also have some fun together, right?
Yeah.
So definitely looks like a super dope event, and big shout out to Superteam France for organizing it, to the European lead Arthur for pulling it off and sponsoring one of his real estate assets for this for this event, bluntly speaking. So yeah, really, really bullish on that upcoming event.
Arthur, such a big fan.
Yeah, good guy.
Huge fan of Arthur.
Yeah.
But I mean, in terms of the structure of that founders mansion, it's gonna be 3 weeks.
Yes.
And it's gonna be 3 cohorts.
Exactly.
So each cohort gets to be there for a week.
1 week. Yeah.
And you have to apply. So there's a website. What is that website, Simon? It is.
It's a Luma page. So
it's a Luma.
I mean, they have a website as well, but they also have Luma signups. You can go to builders-mention.com.
Yeah, I'm going to share this right over here.
So that's actually the link, builders-mention.com.
Yeah. But if you go to the Superteam France account, you can find this very viral tweet. Builders Mansion, Superteam France. And specifically on that last tweet, you can pick your cohort, right? So again, there are 3 different cohorts. And if you get accepted, everything is free. I mean, obviously you got to pay for your own flight ticket, and then obviously the train or the Uber or whatever to get there.
Yeah.
But once you're there, the accommodation is free. The food is free. It's all free. So you should apply. And this is all going into Apex Budapest, right? So it's like a very good opportunity for you to build in Europe, especially if you're not from that neck of the woods. And then after you're done building over at the mansion, you can go over to Apex Budapest with the homies. So really great opportunity to meet your fellow builder. I think it's going to be a magical experience. I'm very jealous. I want to go. I have prior commitments. I will be over at Berlin Blockchain Week, which I feel like, it's very un-German of you to not be going.
I know, but there's just so much other stuff going on. So I have to kind of pick my battles.
It's always home that I feel that I'm in the exact same way, by the way. It's like, if there's an event in San Francisco, I'm like, bro, I'm from San Francisco. Yeah. I'm not, why would I,
Yeah, even though I haven't been to Germany for a long time, especially not to events.
Yeah.
So it would be good, but I just can't duplicate myself, as always.
Yeah.
That is always a struggle. But yeah.
I think we're closing out this episode, Simon.
We do. This has been Soul Brothers Live for the people that tune into the live stream. And if you're listening to the podcast or if you're watching us on YouTube, then thank you also for tuning in to Soul Brothers. This was EP number 28 already, is that correct?
Yep, 28.
EP 28.
We're almost at 30.
Almost
crazy.
At 30. And we got always something to yap about. So if you want to hear more from the Soul Brothers, then make sure to follow us ideally everywhere. At least on Twitter, on X, and on YouTube as well. You can leave us a subscribe. And we wish you a wonderful start to this week if you're in the live stream, and also a good rest of the week if you're listening to the pod that just went live. Please trade safely. This is not a financial advisory podcast, but we will always try to give you our views on things, and we'll try to help you to make better decisions when it comes to investing in Solana, the asset, and maybe even on some of the beautiful projects that are building on Solana. Has been a pleasure, as always.
Thanks, as always, to our sponsors over at Jupiter Exchange. We actually just got renewed for another 3 months of sponsorship, so thank you, Jupiter, for keeping the lights on. Couldn't do it without you.
More Soul Brothers.
Right. And of course, we want to give a very, very, very special shout out to Skyrise Labs. They've been helping us not only film in the podcast room, but also this entire event over at Startup Village Toronto. Skyrise Labs is handling basically all of the media for it.
Yep.
So one of the best companies on Solana to work with, especially for your media needs, so live event coverage, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, just huge thank you to Skyrise, Jupiter, everybody who makes this possible. Jay, Caveman, Simon.
Superteam Canada.
Superteam Canada. There are too many Simons. There's two. How many Simons do we? I feel like we have 4 or 5 Simons.
There's a bunch.
There's a bunch of Simons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's a bunch of Simons.
Yeah. I feel like you're Super Simon. That's
Nah, bro, don't say that.
good, dude. You're fucking huge.
Don't do that. He's gonna kill me. There's only one Super Simon.
There's only one Super Simon.
Yeah.
He's a Monkey DAO exec. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Episode 28. Peace.